973. Also, your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Yes. So on today's show, we're going to get into what A.J. Brown said to the media. What did he say that stood out to me the most? And then we'll talk with Dave Weinberg about the Eagles and more coming up this hour. And as always, text board 609 403 0973. We'll get what you guys have to say during this hour. But like I said, I wanted to start with the A.J. Brown stuff because we mentioned yesterday when Rob Motti was on with me, Rob and I talked about, hey, A.J. Brown is going to do this. I'm finally speaking to the media. And we all question, what does it really mean? What is this actually going to look like, right? And I thought he said some very, very interesting things. And I want to kind of get your guys' reactions to this because we all have our opinions, right? I do here on this microphone on 97.3 ESPN. You do listening on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, which is free. Thanks to First Bank of Seattle. We all have our opinions. We all have our perspectives on who the Eagles are. A.J. Brown explained where he is coming from. And what he said about Nick Sirianni was extremely interesting to me. Take a listen.
There may be things that Nick probably want to fix about himself, and I'll say, but one thing I can't respect, loyalty is not one of them. And I say that because he takes up for us when it has nothing to do with him. And he gets the blame, but that comes with his job, and sometimes Jalen does the same thing. And just like Brian, he get the wrong end of the stick sometimes. When it be us.
It's a very interesting perspective because in a world where people love to point the fingers, A.J. Brown is saying, stop pointing the finger at the head coach. You got to point it at the players. It's a very interesting dynamic because in turn, what A.J. Brown is telling you is, for as much as the fans and the media complain about the coaches, they got to stop pointing at those guys. Now, I don't know if that's going to truly change anyone's mind, but I did think it was interesting the next part of what he said, because he said, look, it really is on the players.
The coaches played 0 snaps this year. It is not the coaching. It is us. So, like I said, if one person goes the wrong way, the whole play is over with. And as you guys see, it is glimpses. It's highs and lows. It goes just like this. That's why, honestly, I feel like we are close. We are close to continue to get better and continue to take that next step. With all this freaking adversity, we right there. That's what happens when you're trying to get to the next step. Gravity pulls against you. Everything pulls against you. And I think that's what this team is going through right now.
Again, this is A.J. Brown's perspective on all of this. And I don't know if what he's saying, it's hard for me to decipher, because on one hand, I have so much respect for the fact that he took so much time. Like, I have a ton of audio from A.J. Brown. We can't get to it all this hour on Game Night, but there's so much of what he said was interesting. But to focus on what he said there, you can hear that he thought a lot about this. This was not a quick, I want to get my thoughts out, I'm going to run out the door. He's explaining, look, from my perspective, Nick Sirianni, Brian Johnson, the coaching staff take the bullets for this team winning and losing. But at the end of the day, he says it's the players' job to do what is needed to win games. So if we are to blame the players for why this team has not been successful this year, what is the solution to fixing the problem? Now, the way A.J. Brown makes it sound like, he's making it sound like, hey, we're right there. We can still win this thing. We are still a really good football team. You can say that all you want, but the reality is that you still have to go out there and do your job. If the player's not doing their job, then someone has to go. Someone will not. This team is currently constructed will not be here next year. Many of the players could be here next year, but think about it. Fletcher Cox may not be here next year. Brandon Graham, Jason Kelsey, that might have been their final home games for the Philadelphia Eagles this past Sunday. There's a chance that multiple players on this team are not here next year. So the vibe and the energy of this team is going to change no matter what. And how you replace those veterans is going to matter. To me, A.J. Brown can say it's on the players all he wants. But the reality is that if the players are doing their job, then like in any walk of life, if you do not do your job, you do not have your job. The people who employ you, whether it's an NFL football team or it's any job in life, okay? Whether it's my job here in 97.3 ESPN, Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Wednesday night, whether it is you're somebody who works at, let's say you work at Walmart. Let's say you're a construction worker. Let's say that you are a police officer, a fireman. Let's say that you're a surgeon, right? If you don't do the tasks that you are assigned with a level of proficiency that is at least the average expectation of your industry, then you don't have your job. If I got up on this microphone and went out and had dead air for the next few minutes, Mike Gill is not going to let me be on the microphone anymore. If I come on the microphone and start dropping F-bombs, I don't have my show anymore. So in football terms, if A.J. Brown is saying it's on the players to do the job and the coaches are taking the bullets for the players, then who's the player who will not be here next year because they can't do their job? And that's part of the conundrum of this conversation, because you are stuck with certain contracts right now. You are stuck with Darius Slay's contract. You are stuck with James Bradbury's contract. You are stuck with all of these different issues that you have to deal with in terms of finances. I know Howie Roseman's a wizard, okay? I know cap flexibility is his forte. But even for Howie, there's only so much he can do. And look, we can sit here and use superhero analogies about this to explain this. But let's break it down for just a general person listening. Person doesn't do their job, but their job handed them an employment contract that doesn't allow that employer to get rid of them very easily. James Bradbury has regressed. And even though they're asking to play a role that is not his strength, he has regressed. The entire team has taken a step back, and whether it's just because of the coordinator or some other issues. It sounds good when A.J. Brown says this, but actions speak louder than words. A.J. can talk the talk, but will the team walk the walk in response to him saying this?
Right there, despite everything, despite everybody saying this or saying that, like we right there, and we know we are, and that's the only thing that matters is we know. You can say whatever you want to say, but when the shit happens, then it's gonna be like, oh, what is going on? Oh, what if it don't happen? Then we're gonna try again. That's what it is, and that's how you have to approach life.
It sounds great. It's a great soundbite. It's a great, a lot of Eagle fans are going to hear that and they're going to love that. But it doesn't mean anything unless these players step up and ball out. And I understand where A.J. Brown's coming from. Look, he explained why he didn't speak out about, because there was some of you who are saying out there, listening to my voice, Josh Hennig hanging out with you on GameNight on 97.3 ESPN. I know what you guys are thinking. Well, why did A.J. Brown say this 3 days ago, a week ago? Why has he been MIA from talking to the media? A.J. Brown addressed that.
I apologize to my teammates today, because they shouldn't have to answer questions on my behalf. I'm a man. I can speak for myself. I was actually looking forward to seeing one of the reporters here today because I wanted to ask him a question. I'm still going to say the question because he wrote a story, and I did read the story. It was about he said a veteran said something about me and this and that. So I was going to ask him, who is the veteran? Because I know who I am, and I know that's not, you can portray me however you want to portray me, but you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, like, I know who I am.
It's a very interesting perspective because Brown says a couple things all in that one soundbite. One, he says, I apologize for my teammates. I shouldn't have let them speak for me. I'm a man. I should speak up. So at first, he takes accountability for not speaking to the media. Respect it. Love it. The second part of it, he says, I would love to talk to the reporter who wrote the article about me. And I know the main one he's talking about is Marcus Hayes, but there's several NFL people who have made direct and indirect accusations about A.J. Brown's maturity and his desire to play. And there's a lot of inappropriate and unsubstantiated conjecture that A.J. Brown is not happy with his role in this team. And I just don't hear that guy in these audio cuts. Listen, A.J. Brown spoke for over 10 minutes to the media. Nowhere in anything that I heard or anything that I read did it sound like a guy who's not happy with his job and his role. It sounded like a guy who's just frustrated. He's frustrated about everything. But the last part of what he said is, look, I'm my own man, and I know who and what I am. And I think that's the key for the Eagles. If every Eagles player steps up this Sunday when they play the Giants, and you hear the game right here on 97.3 ESPN, Merrill Reese and Mike Quick on the call. Coverage begins at 3 o'clock this Sunday when the Eagles take the field to still have a potential chance at winning their division. Will every player walk up and say, I'm my own man. I have to take responsibility. I'm going to ball out because that is what I'm being paid to do, and that is what is expected of me? Or is somebody on this team going to let everyone else down because they don't have the self-discipline to be a responsible adult? You can only cover up your weaknesses for so long. At some point, guys got to put up or shut up. I'll get to more of you guys' thoughts a little bit later this hour. I see Dan and EHC, one of the textures at 609-403-0970. We'll ask a man who's been in plenty of locker rooms over the years. Dave Weinberg joins us next here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Monday night.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. A Saturday NFL doubleheader gets Week 18 started. Up first, the Pittsburgh Steelers visit the AFC top-seeded Baltimore Ravens and need a win to keep playoff hopes alive. Then, two more postseason hopefuls match up with the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts. Both are 9-7 and in a three-way tie atop the AFC South. Join us for Saturday NFL football.
Listen to the NFL on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 4 p.m.
We all make resolutions this time of year, and let's face it, most of them won't stick. But here's one that's not only easy to keep, but will help you feel healthier all year long. Navage. Navage provides quick, drug-free nasal relief by washing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. This time of year, when everyone is sick, Navage helps by sucking out germs, bacteria, and viruses trapped in our noses that cause us to feel miserable. And come allergy season, it does the same with dust, pollen, and other allergens. And unlike medications that can take time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage helps treat congestion symptoms in seconds flat, without drugs. This New Year's, resolve to use drug-free Navage to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Start learning a new language today at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The $5 cravings box is back at Taco Bell, and it's the real thing. We're talking a chalupa supreme, a cheesy, beefy 5-layer burrito, a crunchy taco, cinnamon twist, and a medium drink, all for just $5. That's a lot of food for not a lot of dollars. In other words, a wise business deal, like greeting clients with a firm handshake and a delicious 3-course meal, that's only $5. Order your $5 cravings box on the Taco Bell app today. At limited participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for price and participation with vary. Drinks exclude freezes. Price excludes tax.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-294-8831 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-294-8831. That's 800-294-8831. What do you have to lose? Call 800-294-8831. Again, 800-294-8831.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
I do have a favorite child.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I use memes as a coping mechanism.
It's Mattress Firm's once-a-year sale and clearance. Get up to 60% off select Sealy, plus a free adjustable base, all with free and fast delivery. Deals this big won't last long, so don't miss out. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter. Swiffer Power Mop! Swiffer Power Mop!
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt Black Nissan.
Looking for some holiday cash? Then don't miss Matt Black Nissan's holiday vehicle buyback. It doesn't matter what you drive. AJ the Trademan wants to buy your vehicle today. Regardless of the make, miles, condition, or situation, AJ will buy your ride for cash today. So treat yourself to a brand new Nissan. 0 down, 0 payments, 0% interest on every new Matt Black Nissan Rogue or Frontier in stock. That's a brand new Nissan with 0% financing for 36 months, or come in and get a brand new Versa for only $17,999. And with no payments until March on any brand new Nissan. AJ says you'll get more cash than you think and drive away with peace of mind, because only Matt Black Nissan has a 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Matt Black Nissan.com. Requalifications exist with approved credit. $27.78 per thousand finance on in-stock 2023 Nissan Rogues and Frontiers. Not all will qualify. Go to mattblacknissan.com for complete details or call 844-917-4758. Tax includes all costs to be paid by consumer except for licensing, registration, and taxes. VIN RL821625. Versa S. MSRP 20,635. It's on at Matt Black Nissan on the Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Speaking over my own intro, bad job by me. Josh Hennig hanging out with you. We'll get to Dave Weinberg, who'll join us momentarily here on the show. But right now, let's get some of your thoughts and comments on the text board, 609-403-0973. Dan in EHT chimes in. and says, could what Brown is saying mean that Sirianni is too much of a player's coach, holding the players accountable for better execution? Tom Coughlin sometimes is what a player type of coach that the players need. It's an interesting point by you, Danny HT, because I don't have a literal answer for this because, sometimes you need the players to be on your side in order for when you do kind of get out of the mold that you're in to go after them. If the players are buying into your message and you have to be true to who you are, then you can't rip out Nick Sirianni and put someone else in and hope that someone else is going to be able to win the locker room like Sirianni has. Every player, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham, you heard from AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, this whole team to a man buys into and loves Nick Sirianni. If you don't have a Nick Sirianni, are all the players bought in the way Sirianni has them bought in? That's the larger question for me. And I think I bring that up because of the fact that if we are being honest with ourselves, there's no guarantee that if another coach was coaching this team, that they would do a better job or have more players believing in them than Sirianni does. Now, is there a problem with players basically doing improvisation on the final play of Seattle when Sirianni took the bullets for that was the players who actually called that on their own and they deviated from the game plan and it basically was one of the major reasons why they lost the game? Yeah, that's a huge problem. Now, though, how often is that happening? Was it just the Seattle game? Or there are other times throughout the year where the players are taking matters into their own hands and plays do or don't go well? The other part of this to think about is if you had a Tom Coughlin type of head coach, would this team want to play for that guy? This is a different world today. Not every player is built to deal with those type of coaches. Doug Peterson was a player's coach. Sirianni is a player's coach. There is something about certain players will only play for certain coaches. Look what happened to Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly got to be so bad that guys like Lane Johnson started speaking out about him before he ever got fired. So here's the issue. Let's say you were to let go of Nick Sirianni. There's no guarantee that the next person you bring in is going to get the locker room. And then what happens? Do you waste another coaching cycle on another coaching candidate? And then you turn into what? The Carolina Panthers, the Washington Commanders, the Atlanta Falcons, the Houston Texans. You turn into one of these franchises that can't keep a head coach for more than 3 years. It's embarrassing enough that you fire the only head coach that ever won you a championship, as Dave Weinberg can attest to as he joins us right now here on 97.3 ESPN. But Dave, you know how it is. It's a bad look if you are the franchise that just keeps recycling new coaches all the time.
Yeah, you don't want to fall into that pattern. I mean, you made a mistake by getting rid of Doug Peterson, sure, but you can't just keep panicking every time something doesn't go right. You got to give. I as you know, I'm not the biggest Nick Sirianni fan, not even close, but he does deserve at least one more year, I think, to turn this around.
Yeah, it's, and listen, I understand some fans like Dan EHT, Dave, they're like, look, AJ Brown is behind his coach, but they feel like that's because maybe Nick is too much of a player's coach.
Yeah, I mean, big whoop, right? To me, anyway.
Well, I mean, the reason I bring it up is because, you remember what the locker room was like with Chip Kelly. Like at the end, I mean, that was toxic as anything. So if you bring in the wrong guy, everything goes sideways.
Right.
I guess the locker room is what, because AJ. I guess because AJ Brown, everything's all good now. I don't know. I mean, I just don't. That's not going
Oh,
to
I
fix the
don't know about
defense,
that.
but yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's fixing the locker room, but I or fixing the offense and the defense. But I guess it kind of clears the air a little bit in the locker room. Whether that's going to make a difference, I don't think so. But yeah, you can't, like I said, you can't panic. You can't. I don't think that. I mean, I am not in there, so I don't know for a fact, but I don't think it's as cancerous as it was with Chip Kelly.
No, it's not. But see, Dave, you brought up a point there that we got to talk about.
Sure.
Everything may be fine with Sirianni. That doesn't fix the fact that since Matt Patricia took over as defensive play caller, the defense is allowing 22.6 points per game in the second half. This team went from a team that was at least respectable to a team that can't do anything in the second half right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see what it changes, quite honestly. I mean, like, why didn't AJ Brown talk for like 2 weeks then? I don't get it. I mean, so now, do you know why? I mean, he was obviously dissatisfied. Maybe he cleared the air with Sirianni. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, that doesn't fix the other problems, especially with the defense. The defense has been atrocious since Matt Patricia took over, and as bad as they were under Sean Desai, they're even worse now. So I don't see where singing "Kumbaya" and having a little team huddle meeting that's not going to fix anything.
Yeah, because the AJ Brown can say all he wants. The coaches don't play any snaps. The coaches are not responsible for this and that. And listen, it sounds great for the fans who love to hear that. But Dave, it doesn't fix the fact that this team had a losing month of December, and it didn't have to go that way. There was no reason why they should have lost to the Cardinals. There's no reason why you should have had 3 fumbles against the Cowboys. There's no reason why you should have choked against Seattle. Those are 3 games right there you could have won. Maybe you should have won. And so the players can say all they want. Oh, the coaches are taking bullets for us. Well, then if you're not doing your job, then maybe we should fire you.
Yeah, I mean, you mean the players or the coaches?
The players. If the players are saying it's their fault, then why should we not fire them?
Yeah, well, I mean, what else are they going to say, right? Everybody's going to take the blame. I mean, everybody's going to take the bullet. They're falling on their own swords. That's just the way nature of the beast. You very rarely find guys who are going to point the finger at other people unless the wheels completely fall off. I mean, I have a feeling if you see them lose, if they have to force it to go in the wild card, the wild card. If they go down to Tampa and get blown out again, then you're going to see the stuff hit the fan. As of now, they're kind of like hanging on, skating on thin ice, so to speak, to pardon the cliche. But yeah, if they lose another one and it's one and done in the playoffs, then you're really going to see some stuff.
Dave Weinberg joining us for a Weinberg Wednesday here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN at Dave Weinberg 19 on the Twitter X platform, extra point columns at 97.3 ESPN.com. Dave, you're someone who was in a lot of locker rooms in Philadelphia for many years. When a player so aggressively says you got to blame the players, don't blame the coaches, what does that code speak say to you?
The fact that they're not blaming the coaches, I guess, helps. So maybe that takes a little bit of the heat off. I don't think so, but I guess they're just trying to prove that they're not that they're not selfish to the point where they're gonna blame everybody else. They're gonna take the blame on themselves. I mean, I would have been surprised if anybody blames the coaches for what's going on. I mean, but it was quite evident that, like, take that next to last drive against the Cardinals. There's 2 quarterback keepers and the bubble screen. I mean, the players didn't call them, right? So something's amiss there. I mean, the coaches are going to take the blame. The players are going to take the blame. The bottom line is everybody's to blame.
So if everyone's to blame, and we know that this team is probably not winning a championship, what has to change this offseason? Because Dave, listen, Howie Roseman gets a lot of credit for being a salary cap wizard, but you could also blame Howie for putting this roster on the field.
Yeah. I mean, nobody was complaining when they were 10-1, right? I mean, and when you went into the season, everybody was lauding Howie, right, for all the moves that he made in the draft picks, and they're stacked at every position, and this might be the most talented lineup in the NFL. And now that they're losing, everybody's taking a different approach to it. I think you can blame like maybe the lack of depth a little bit on him. You've lost a couple linebackers. Your secondary's been beat up. But I don't know. There's a whole lot of teams that have 7 corners they can just plug one in and not miss a beat. I mean, when you miss Darius Slay, and I mean they missed the boat on some moves. Don't get me wrong. I mean, James Bradbury, nobody expected him to lose 5 steps, let alone 1. And Fletcher Cox has gotten old before your eyes. I mean, he's had a couple good plays this year, but nothing terrific. Brandon Graham's kind of at the end of the line, unfortunately. Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey. I mean, I guess I should say you probably could have seen it coming. I mean, they're all like on the other north side of 30. And clearly they're not the players they were, but I guess maybe Howie was expecting to get one more good year out of them, which is a mistake that a lot of general managers make. They look at the Phillies with Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins and those guys. They let them out, and they held on to him 1 year too long. Maybe that's what's going on here.
But here's what perplexes me, Dave. Okay,
Uh-huh.
Howie Roseman himself said that we made a mistake. The Eagles, he said, when they kept some of the guys that they did for too long of deals because they were trying to keep the window open. So if Howie Roseman knows he made that mistake before, why did he make the mistake again?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Well, Brandon Graham had double-digit sacks last year, so I guess you kind of figured he would be able to be at least decent, that he wouldn't, fall off the cliff. Loyalty is a tough thing, Josh. These guys have a bond in the community, in the locker room. I'm talking about Brandon and Lane and Fletcher specifically. They're real, and Jason, of course. They're really tight with the community, really tight with the team, the fans. And it's really hard to cut the tie when you have those kinds of relationships. I mean, they did it with Brian Dawkins, they did it with Donovan McNabb, but I guess maybe they were afraid. I don't know if they were afraid to do it, but I guess they thought they'd get one more year out of it, and they were wrong.
You mentioned some interesting names there. That might have been the final home game for a bunch of those guys.
Yeah.
We may not see Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham at minimum next year. There might be more guys than that who are not here next year. What part of that goes into the conversation where maybe some of these guys need to show a little more pride and be like, look, we need to give these guys a better send-off.
Yeah, I mean, the younger guys especially, you would think they'd want to kind of pull it together a little bit to make sure these guys don't go out on such a sour note. Easier said than done though, right? I mean, I can't see any scenario where they turn into the 2012 Ravens and all of a sudden, catch fire again and put everything behind them. I just think it's too far gone at this point. I don't think that I just can't. I'll be shocked if the Eagles win their first playoff game.
Here's the thing that's weird to me about the playoff game. You mentioned Tampa, right? The reason why they lost to Tampa last time was because, remember, the conversation was they didn't have enough experience. Right. Well, the problem is this year, Dave, they have so much experience. You have guys applying for AARP. So, it's like, you went from one extreme to another here.
Welcome to my world. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I've been a long time member of AARP. I'll show you my Medicare card too. If you want. It's tough. I think the win they had that great window in 2017, and I guess they had the window again last year, but it's really, it slammed shut in a hurry, right? It wasn't a gradual just pulling the window down. There's no I don't see any room for air coming through. I mean, I really don't. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do turn it around. Maybe AJ Brown's. I couldn't get. I was reading Twitter today, and or X, whatever you call it. I can't get over the way people are like, "Well, AJ Brown spoke for 13 minutes, so now everything is okay," and it was the best interview I've ever heard in my life. So what? What does that have to do with anything? I don't get it at all. I was like flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted.
Yeah, listen, you know how people are. People love to just, latch on to anything they can sometimes, or maybe for some of these people that AJ Brown's their favorite player. I don't know, but
yeah, that could be, yeah. But it was ridiculous.
Couple more for Dave Weinberg before I let him go here on 97.3 ESPN. Did you laugh as much as I did when you saw that Carson Wentz is starting for the Rams this Sunday?
Yeah, I kind of got a chuckle out of it. It's kind of a deja vu, right? I assume it's because the Rams are resting all their guys. Is that the deal, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Rams
'cause
are resting people, but so are the 49ers. It's going to be Wentz versus Sam Darnold on Sunday.
Yeah, JV versus JV. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of got a little bit of a chuckle out of it. Yeah, I did. I mean, the fact that he, got his career basically ended with the Rams, against the Rams. Now all of a sudden he's playing for them and
Well,
trying to.
to me, it's more than that. He was behind Jared Goff in the draft, which went to the Rams.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
2017 was ended because of the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And you could argue that if the Rams would have done their job in 2019, the Eagles would not have played the Seahawks in the playoffs, and maybe Wentz's career wouldn't have ended in Philadelphia by being smashed in the back of the head by Jadeveon Clowney.
Are you going to do 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon here, huh? All right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, it's just
there's a lot of ties there. Yeah, that's true.
And I'm sure somewhere Sean McVay is salivating because he thinks he's like the new quarterback guru. Like he thinks he's like the guy who's going to resuscitate everybody.
I've heard that before though, with Carson Wentz specifically. Yeah.
Well, the weird thing with Wentz is also, and listen, you know me, I'm not over here as some Wentz apologist, but like the weird thing with him was people forget that when things went bad in Indianapolis.
Right.
It wasn't all because of him. It was because Frank Reich just decided to stop running the ball the last 3 weeks of the season, and that doomed the Colts to go to the postseason. And you just have to wonder if Frank Reich would have just stuck with the formula and the Colts would have gone to the postseason that year. Who knows where Wentz's career and Frank Reich's career would be right now?
Possibly. I mean, I don't know what the locker room situation was there too. I mean, you're speaking of culture and leaders. Like Carson isn't that guy. I mean, he wasn't in Philly and he wasn't in Indy and he wasn't in Washington. I think that goes beyond like what he did on the field more than anything. I think that's why he was struggling so long to get a job was I don't think it was the football ability as much as the quarterback leadership aspect of it.
This weekend, we're going to have a lot of interesting games. Almost all but 3 games, Dave, in the NFL are going to be with something on the line. Playoff-wise, basically. So, for you, do you have a favorite one that you're looking forward to that's not the Eagles game?
And not the Cowboys?
You can see the Cowboys if you want. Do the Cowboys win a road game?
Right. I mean, they have to win a division, right?
And they haven't been on the road this year. That's been their big weakness.
True. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking at that, as will the Eagles, no doubt. I thought it was kind of odd they moved both games to 4:25. So can't say, okay, they won, so I can just trust my guys or whatever. They're making them both play, NFC South, I'm really interested in too. You got the Saints and the Rams, and Saints and the Falcons and the Bucks all jockeying for position. Falcons and the Saints play each other, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know who the Bucks play. I don't even know.
Bucks play the Panthers.
Oh, so they win a division then. Okay. But yeah,
well, the Panthers 2 weeks ago just gave the Packers a lot of problems, and the Packers are a win away from the postseason.
Yeah, that's true. Cost me some money too, but that's another story. Yeah, but yeah, it's I think the NFL does do a good job of making sure that the division plays each other at the end. That creates a lot of drama and a lot of excitement in a lot of cases. So yeah, I'll be kind of looking forward to all of it. I mean, AFC South, same thing with Jacksonville and Houston, and Jacksonville's kind of leaking oil now with Indianapolis. So yeah, I think it's all going to be really cool. Miami and Buffalo fighting it out for the division. It's going to be an exciting weekend for the most part, I think.
Absolutely. Dave Weinberg here for a Weinberg Wednesday at Dave Weinberg 19 on Twitter X platform. Extra point columns over at 97.3ESPN.com. He joins me each week here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Dave, appreciate you jumping on. Enjoy the rest of your week.
My pleasure, Josh, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Alrighty,
absolutely. Dave Weinberg here joining me on 97.3 ESPN. All right. We'll get back to text board on the other side. 609-403-0973. We got some text to get to here. Steve and Ventnor, another one from Dan and EHT. I see an anonymous texters. We'll get to all you guys coming up on the other side as we wrap up the Power Hour known as Game Night on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Bedore bring you all the exciting play-by-play action. It's Flyers Blue Jackets. Tomorrow night, coverage begins at 7 p.m. It's Flyers hockey all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia Flyers hockey. 97.3 ESPN.
Get to Met, Lat, Kia during the Season of Giving Back sales event. You'll save thousands with 0% financing, 0 down payments, or 0 payments until next March on every clearly marked new Kia. Like the all-new Kia Forte LXS, just $19,999. Why would you buy a used vehicle when you can get a brand new Kia with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty for under $20,000? Even if you think you're currently stuck in a loan or lease, we want to get you released. And only Met, Lat, Kia has a 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Plus, you can drive with 0 down and 0 payments until March of next year on every new Kia in stock. So come get your new Kia Forte for under $20,000. But when they're gone, they're gone.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
With proof credit and all qualifying credit and payment offers can't be combined. Go to MattBlackKia.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer except for licensing, registration, and taxes through KMF at $27.78 per thousand for 36 months. Rebates and incentives to dealer. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Harper Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
It seems like everywhere you look right now, someone is sick. This year, prepare your family for airborne invaders like bacteria, pollen, and yes, germs with Navage Nasal Care. Navage flushes ultra-pure, refreshing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. Navage sucks out viruses, dust, and other airborne particles, all the stuff that gets trapped in your nose, making you miserable. Don't get caught empty-handed this winter. Get Navage, the drug-free solution that helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Even better, Navage is HSA, FSA eligible. So Navage is a great way to spend those funds before they expire. Don't wait a minute longer. Buy Navage today and you'll breathe easier knowing you're putting your funds to good use. Navage is available online at Navage.com or Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
I do have a favorite child.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I use memes as a coping mechanism.
It's Mattress Firm's once-a-year sale and clearance. Get up to 60% off select Sealy, plus a free adjustable base, all with free and fast delivery. Deals this big won't last long, so don't miss out. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience, and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. Get 6 times longer lasting freshness plus odor protection with Downy Unstoppables in-wash scent beads.
Hard Rock Atlantic City invites you to join us at a community celebration on Saturday, January 6th at 3 p.m. in honor of Mainland Regional High School winning the Group 4 State Football Championship. The event is open to the public and free to attend. Mainland Regional High School students, faculty, parents, and alumni are invited to attend for this very special spirited event to celebrate their historic win and undefeated football season. It's Saturday, January 6th, 3 p.m. at Hard Rock Live in the Ennis Arena. Go Mustangs!
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Get to the text board at 609-403-0973 before we get out here. No Sixers, no Flyers tonight. You know what that means? There's a little extra time for maybe you do a little binge watching or streaming, right? By the way, if you haven't seen it, one of my latest articles on 97.3 ESPN.com, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, a buddy of mine from high school, Glenn Rodriguez, his movie is debuting on Amazon Prime this weekend. The story of how he got to this point is absolutely ridiculous. And I mean that in a good way. I don't mean that in a negative way. So if you got some time, go check out that article, 973ESPN.com and a 973 ESPN mobile app. Danny HT says, Brown seems to be, this is Danny HT's opinion, similar to Terrell Owens' style. When the Eagles were crushing the Giants in the playoff game last year, Brown was pouting, was a red flag to me. Brown needs to be addressed this offseason. Well, I don't even mean by addressed because I think there's a perception, Dan, EHC, and I don't think you're alone because I don't want to single you out. All right. I think that there is a group of people out there, whether those people exist in media exclusively or it's just in the fan base. But there's always been this perception that when an athlete acts a certain way, that it's a negative. I don't think AJ Brown is always pouting. Like, when he's caught on camera shaking his head, right? Why can't a guy just have a reaction in the moment to something? Why do we have to hyper judge them that it's a character flaw? There's nothing about AJ Brown's character that delineates that this guy is a bad seed or he's a bad person or whatever you want to call it. Deshaun Jackson was painted wrongly by the media as a thug. Come to find out, he secretly goes out and buys food and other needs for homeless people, doesn't want attention for it, and would just go do it. And he was just randomly caught doing it because in the world of social media and smartphones with cameras, someone finally caught him doing it. We have this perception of people because somebody with a microphone went and made a demonstrative comment or statement. And Danny HT, no offense to you, but people such as yourself trust that individual, whoever they are, who made that statement, who made that point. And that's why, to me, I always say, I take seriously what I say on this microphone. I'm not going to get on this microphone and make some outlandish comment or accusation because when context matters, I'm not going to treat AJ Brown like he is a problem that needs to be addressed. How about the whole, remember Jason Kelsey says the whole team? Why can't the whole team be addressed this offseason? Anonymous texter at 609-403-0973 says, how can you say the Eagles could have, should have won, yet you constantly talk about how bad teams have played across the league, how there's so much parity? If there's no standouts and it's equal across the board, then no Sunday is given for anyone. But that's the exact reason why you say shoulda, coulda. Because if it's any given Sunday and anyone can win any week, then why does it not matter that you had not one, not two, but three fumbles in scoring range? If anyone can win any Sunday, why does it not matter that the Eagles defense is allowing 22.6 points per game in the second half of the games that Matt Patricia has been the defensive play caller? It's because there's so much parity that I feel comfortable saying they could have or they should have won said games. That's the reason why. So, anonymous texter, work on your listening skills. Remember, there's a difference between hearing and listening. Anyone can hear somebody speak, but not everybody listens and comprehends what is being said. All right, Steven Ventnor chimes in. He says the Eagles like being underdogs. They can catch fire in the playoffs. That is true. Any team can catch fire in the playoffs. Steven Ventnor's right. He also says, are you in or out on Josh Hader, or would you give Jordan Hicks a 3-year deal as an alternative? Frankly, Steven Ventnor, I'm not a fan of either deal because I see flaws with both players. I still think it's, to use Danny HT's term, I think it's still a red flag that Josh Hader was ran out of Milwaukee and sent to San Diego when Milwaukee was still in the playoff hunt. I think it's odd that Jordan Hicks is as inconsistent as he is. This team already has enough inconsistent players. I don't know. Does either guy really solve a problem? If Hader joins the team, he's another left-hander. You already have guys like Alvarado. You got Strom. You got Soto. You got all these left-handed guys already on the team. Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez. How does Hader fit into that role? Look, if I had my way, I wish Dave Dombrowski would just get on the phone and make a trade. I don't know if I like any of the free agents right now. I mean, if you told me they signed Hicks or Hader, I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't be loving it either. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. I'll catch you tomorrow.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles finish up the regular season this Sunday in New York against the Giants.
Fires, and it's incomplete. The Eagles take over a down. That was you.
Eagles radio network coverage begins at 3 p.m. Merrill and Mike call all the action starting at 4:25. This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station. Brought to you by
GMS Law. Make the right call with 4 convenient locations to serve you and at gmslaw.com. Boardwalk Honda. Shop our lineup of new pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas online at boardwalkhonda.com. The Fan Zone at Sun Valley Pools. Unique fan gear and gifts for every fan of every team. Cape Regional Health System. Your healthcare partner for a healthier life in Cape May County. Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Choose better banking. And South Jersey Gas.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football.